Thank you very much for everyone coming to see me. I'm going to try my hardest to stay off script, but it's just in case I tangent a lot. I've got this, issue. So I'm going to try and stay as on script as possible. If I have to jump, I will. My name's Oliver. When I was 7 years old, I got diagnosed with Tourette syndrome. I don't know if you know about Tourette syndrome. It's kind of a cluster of different issues. You have OCD, you have some form of physical verbal spasm, you have ADHD, which is why I come across as so over-the-top excited all the time. And yeah, so I got diagnosed as a kid, and it was quite hard, for like 10 years I had this twitches, and I had psychological issues, and it's not easy. Now, when I found CBD, my twitches went. OCD is still there, but not as bad as ever. Attention deficit disorder is okay, and it really has helped me. So as patient X, I can honestly say that I know what CBD has done for my life. Now, the only way I found CBD products which helped me was I started to make CBD products myself, and I realized that unless I'm making a mathematically accurate product, unless the infusion is correct and the product's bioavailable and it's actually effective, I can't benefit from this. And I went some horrible sleepless nights and some really, really bad moments where you just, when you've got something wrong and it just can't be made right and doctors can't make it right, it just it makes everything very hard. So that was kind of the start of my entry into this world of cannabinoids as we're in. I started making CBD products, I made vapes, I made drops, I made tinctures, and I realized that based on my different moods and based on my different anxieties, different products helped me, and I really thought that people out there need this. So my other business partner is a guy called Nathan Wogman. Nathan actually suffers from osteoarthritis. Before we got into business, he also self-medicates using cannabinoid-based products, and I helped him develop creams and balms and capsules and things which would help him in his osteoarthritis. So the development and the technology behind Taylor Mammon and the power behind our product is very much from a patient perspective. We design these products for ourselves to make our lives better. And the problem is that this world around us is a world created to make money. It's not a world to create to make products. People, they have margins. I'm not saying everyone does bad. There's a lot of fantastic products here. Like CBD FX, they're like granddaddies of our industry. Jen Canna have one of the best CBD concentrates in the market. I made the Vitality new on the market. They're going to fucking smash it. So, it's like there's some really good products out there which have this core understanding of what is needed. They have this mathematical accuracy, and they have a bioavailable infusion. It's the way the products are created to work. And it's important because you can't just mix CBD into anything and hope for the best. And, it's very much, it's a complicated procedure. If it wasn't, then everyone would be doing it. So basically, I'm here today to start discussing CBD and the variant types. I'm going to discuss things like full spectrum against isolate. I want to discuss infusion techniques. I want to discuss mathematical accuracy and bioavailability, which I believe are very important because, without them, they're nothing. I've got this idea that, when you're building something, it's like a house. And, you build a house from the bottom, it's brick by brick, you build up this house from the ground. And if your foundation is not set correctly, then everything's just going to crumble. So if you haven't got a mathematical accurate foundation to your product, then what do you have? You just have a brand and you have an image. And if it's not there, fine, at this moment of time, no one's testing you, no one's double validating you, no one's coming in asking if you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. But legislation is going to come, and some of us are going to get absolutely shafted because we're just not playing ball. And the problem is, as uneducated individuals in a marketplace, we don't know who is playing ball. We don't know what products are mathematically accurate. We don't know what products are bioavailable. We don't know what's just mixed and poured and left to set and what's actually correctly infused. We have no idea. We just believe what's being told to us. Now, I, as a patient, had a lot of trouble for many, 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 many years finding products which worked for me. Not everyone has a me to make themselves what they need. It's not that easy. And most people out there are quite stubborn. Everyone's caught in their own ways. And even if it's simple education of try 65 degrees for 7 hours. People look at you like 7 hours is way too long. I can't even keep my office open that long. But there's a production procedure which needs to fall in place. There needs to be some form of accountability in order for us to kind of have longevity. So I'm going to start my first point, all right, which I kind of want to go into, is something called the trail of liability. Now, a trail of liability is knowing full well that when you put your CBD into your product goes into someone's hands who decides to go and spend 125 quid to test it. And it comes back as not being what you said it is. Who do you have to turn to? If you have nobody, then you have nobody. And you are bye-bye from this industry because it's not going to last very long. If you have your trail of liability, your infusionologist who controls your mathematical accuracy, it falls onto them. The farm who produces everything based on batch numbers, it falls down to them. That doesn't happen in this country, though. Gen Canna, they kick ass, all right? I fucking love them, all right? Because everything you buy off them, they come with a certificate of analysis, and every time you buy a bag off them, it's a sealed bag. The bag is sealed and then double sealed with a certificate stamp, and everything's batch numbered on batch numbered on batch numbered. I mean, information on information on information. There are several companies exhibiting here today. When you buy CBD from them, you get a kill in the jar, which is clip top, unsealed, sticker on the front, batch number written on it. I could do that. You know, I could go and I could take any distillate, write any batch number on it, and there's no traceability and there's no trail of liability, which means that when your product ends up being not what you expect your product to be, whose fault is it? Yours. And that's the number one thing which everyone needs. They need that trail. And one thing which Gen Ken has allowed us to have, they're not paying me, I just really love them as a farm, and what several other farms have enabled us to do is have that trail. So when something does go wrong, we know who to fall back on. We know that there could have been an issue with the batch of CBD. It costs so much to double validate CBD through HPLC. It takes 3 weeks anyway. So by the time we buy a kilo in, it usually goes straight into products. There's no time to sit around and wait for 3 weeks for that kilo to get tested. And the idea is if you haven't got this trail of liability behind you, your impatience, your inability to wait for the test results to come back onto that product all fall onto you. So it's very important to know and trust your source. Now, I'm not telling you to buy CBD from me, and I'm not telling you to buy CBD from Gen Ken. I'm just saying, find someone who you do trust, who you have this trail of liability with, so you know when the shit hits the fan, you're not going to be in the way of it. And I'm so sorry for swearing, but it's so true. And like, we've been there before where we've made products for people, and you get a, what is this? And it's very important to be able to give them the answer. Now, mathematical errors can always occur. We're humans. Humans make mistakes, and a human error can always be, what's it called? Fixed. It can be amended. If it's not human error, and you have gone and you've, through your fault or no fault of your own, lied to your client and say to them that they've got a 95% distillate and it comes up as 68%. So based on their mathematics, their tinctures are now 700 milligrams, not 1,000. Dude, that's going to be such a hole no one wants to get out of. And then if you have this trail of liability back to a farm, I always recommend everyone to buy from farms, not brokers, not anyone else. Just buy from a farm who you have a relationship with. You'll sleep better at night and your clients will have a better product because you don't have to ever worry about the fact of a COA matching up. That's number one. Now, any questions? Good, fine. So, next one, I'm going to talk about mathematical accuracy. Everyone knows the difference between full spectrum, distillate, isolate, black paste. We all know that they're varying concentrations. In this market, there seems to be a misunderstanding that if you use 1 gram of distillate, you are using 1,000 milligrams. It is a lie. You are not. If you are using 1,000 milligrams of distillate, you are using anywhere from 500 milligrams to potentially 850, but I don't believe certificates of analysis when I see that because it's way too high. You've got this compound which we've been forced to use as a population. I am team isolate all the way. If novel food never existed, I would be using isolate to this day because it's mathematically accurate. The entourage effect is cool, but it's not the be-all and end-all. When we make CBD products, we're not making broad-spectrum products. We're making CBD products. That's what we're selling. That's what we're pushing, and that's what we should focus on. And the issue is many of us have forgotten that math is not that simple. 1 gram is not 1,000 milligrams. A milligram of CBD is an active dose of a compound in a product. You have to understand that distillate is not that. So when you're making a distillate-based product, either be honest. You know, there's one company, have you heard of a company called Provocan? It's an Israeli-based company. They actually turn around and they talk about how they use a distillate and they state that their product is 700 milligrams. Okay, 700 milligrams, 56 milligrams of CBG, 46 milligrams of CBN, a little bit of CBDV, terpenoids, flavonoids, lipids, fats. they're honest, you know what I mean? Like, they're fucking expensive, but they are honest, and there's something quite nice about that. I know they're my competition. I shouldn't really even be promoting them, but I mean, there's something very good about the fact that they are honest with what they sell. In the UK, maybe because they're an Israeli-based company, they do things differently, but in the UK, we are all under the impression that we get to carry on playing this game for a long time. We've got maybe 3 months left before the powers that be come down upon us with such great forces that all of our products will be stripped from the shelves. And the issue is that we will lose all confidence in our clients. There's only so many times you can screw someone over, and so many times you can convince them and fool them before they turn around and say, no more you. And if we want any longevity in this world, mathematical accuracy is imperative. It is so important. And if you don't do it, then you're just asking to have a 6-month business. Jump on the money train and get off next November, because you won't be here. You know, in the next 18 months, they're going to legalize medical cannabis in the UK anyway. They said it in November. 18 months' time, play is going to start happening, which means unless you're doing things properly, there'll be no room for us. And the problem is we're hurting each other, because if I don't do things properly, then it looks like you're not doing things properly, but it might not be the case. And it's this umbrella we have above ourselves. We really have to try. We really have to try and make it almost like a shield of honesty. Because if we hide behind this shield of honesty, we have nothing to hide. And if we give people the truth and we give people honesty, we have nothing to hide. And I think it's very important. I think it's very important in the world of CBD that we start giving people what they're paying for. When someone pays for 1,000 milligrams, they deserve to get their 1,000 milligrams. Yeah. Fine. Any questions? Good. Fine. Bioavailability. How that CBD, that 10,000 pound a kilo compound gets into your system. You can't just throw it in the mix and hope for the best. It needs to be infused, it needs to be accurately measured, and it needs to make sure that it goes where it goes. Now, I completely understand in the vaping world, you know, PG is actually quite good, you know, it works. Simple, vapes are easy, shit goes into your lungs, it gets absorbed. When I make a CBD balm, it takes me 24 hours. Okay, I do a six stage 5-hour infusion, okay, or 6-stage 4-hour infusion. It takes absolutely ages. Why? Because I want to make sure my product's correctly infused. I infuse my argan oil, my avocado oil, I infuse my peach kernel and my coconut oil. I then re-infuse the next layer on top of that, my cacao butter. I re-infuse the shea butter. I then infuse the beeswax for 8 hours. Why? It's not a mix, it's an infusion. Okay? When you make a cup of tea, you don't pour a couple of drops from a cup of tea into a cup of hot water. All right? Guys, do this properly. Create better products which actually work. It takes time, but the client sees the difference. You know, I don't really understand why anyone would risk cheapening it. You know, we're all in a great position. We spend £10,000 to stall out here, but we can't spend 25 minutes making a product. Guys, think about the bigger picture. The bigger picture is people rely on this stuff. We have to be responsible enough to provide them what they are paying for, and we have to be responsible enough to provide them a product that actually works. All right? It's very important. Without it, we're nothing, and without it, there's no longevity. You know, what happens is when someone buys a balm, I've had it 5 times today, but balms don't work. What do you mean balms don't work? Bought 10 balms, none of them work. I use them on my shoulder, I use them on my back, none of them work. It's not fair, because I know my balms work. I know his balms work. You know, that dude at the back, I know his balms work, and it's not fair. It's not fair that we are getting scorned and tarnished by other people out there who make inferior products or products which are not what they should be. No one's regulating us, which means that we are free to do whatever the hell we want, but there should be a little bit of good common human decency inside of us when we're not selling a £3 product. We're selling something for like 50 quid. Let's put a bit of heart and soul into that and make sure that, you know, once again, there's cause for longevity. Because right now we're all playing this short game. We're playing this, you know, 6 months I'm out, 6 months I'm out. And it's not that. This is a lifetime industry. This is the beginning of something we've been waiting hundreds and hundreds of years for. It's the beginning of, you know, the realm of cannabinoidization, or whatever they call it. Like MedMen have just coined the term the new normal. all right? Cannabis is normal. You walk into a bar and you see someone smoking a joint, it's normal. We're not there yet, but we are getting there. And if we ever really want to get there to the point where grandmas look at us and trust us, we have to be honest in everything we do. Honest about our math, honest about our ingredients, honest about our bioavailability. We need to provide products which actually work. And if you can't make a balm that works, there are hundreds of other products you can make. Make tongue drops, make vape liquids. There are thousands of things you can make. If you can't make something that doesn't work, don't sell it, okay? That's just to protect us, because you will then have to stop selling your vape liquids you make hundreds of thousands of pounds from. You'll have to stop selling your tinctures you make hundreds of thousands of pounds from, all right? Don't try and compete, just do what you can do. Fine. Now, bioavailability is irrelevant without understanding receptors, all right? If you create a product targets a receptor, you have to know what receptor you're targeting in order to create a product. There's no point in creating a vape pen to hurt with a foot problem, all right? It won't work. Vaping CBD will not help a CB2 receptor issue. It's the CB1 receptor issue. You have CB1 receptors in your central nervous system. You have CB2 receptors, which are in your muscular system. CB3 receptors, which emerge in times of trauma. When you're designing a product, have a think about the receptor you want to target. It's simple logic. It's like when you do anything, you should think about the end goal. And so many people out there, they create products which don't think about the receptor. Without the receptor, there's no effect. Without grabbing onto that receptor, without, you know, the cannabinoid receptor realizing the CBD, without feeding the CBD, there's nothing. And once again, a lot of products are thought about. I saw a bath bomb here made, which is made using cornstarch and PG. Cornstarch and PG do not absorb through the skin. They do not target CB2 receptors. It's logical. It's so simple. So then don't use it. No one's forcing you to use corn syrup and PG. Use MCT oil, use argan oil, use a plethora of other compounds which do absorb into the skin topically. It's so fucking simple. But once again, if you can't do that, don't fucking do that. Do something else, okay? It's just, it drives me. Listen, I don't make ice cream, okay? I've got no idea how to make ice cream. I also don't make gummy bears, hence why I don't sell ice cream and I don't sell gummy bears, okay? It's simple, I'm sorry. It's true though, isn't it? Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to make you laugh. This is not a comedy sketch, this is serious. Don't laugh at me. No, basically, all right. So it's very important to understand receptors. It's important to understand what they do and how they, hello? It's important to understand what receptors do and how they react. And it's important to know what receptor you're targeting as and when you make a CBD product. If you want any help, booth E30, I will give you an entire list. Just do me a favor, stop making shit that doesn't work. Okay, now. Yeah! Guys, it's so hot up here, you have no idea. Can I get a drink of water, please? Nope? Okay, fine. Everyone knows that we're not allowed to make medicinal claims. It's one of the most annoying things in the world when you have, thank you. One of the most annoying things in the world when you have a CBD product that you know full well does whatever it does and you can't make a medicinal claim. Very, very, very annoying. The only reason one has to make a medicinal claim, though, is because there is zero understanding for cannabinoids. And if all of us can learn what CBD does, then everyone else can learn it too. And there's no one saying that you can't teach. There's no one saying that you can't teach someone what CBD actually does. It's not a medicinal claim to turn around and discuss, you know, correlations between CBD and anandamide. It's not a medicinal claim to turn around and say CB1 receptor, CB2 receptor, CB3 receptor. You're discussing the science behind a compound. You're not discussing the implications of your product, okay? And it's very important that we all take a step back and stop turning around and saying, my CBD product does this or my CBD product does that. It's CBD does this, and educate yourself, because today you have a bad back, tomorrow you have a bad head, and I'm not going to be here for fucking ever to teach you what to do. So go and find out what CBD does, educate yourself, and start being a valued customer. I've actually got a crowd here now. This is pretty cool. People are looking. So actually be a valued customer. It's actually important. The more you educate them, the more longevity we have. It's all about building longevity in this market. You know, like Phil. I met Phil, what, 2.5 years ago we started speaking about CBD? I mean, that's the 2.5 years and we're not even starting. Do you know what I mean? Imagine if 2.5 years was the beginning of anything. Imagine how long the rest of that fucking time would be. You know, you've got at least 90 times 2.5 years before you even have to stop thinking. So close. Before you even have to stop thinking about it. So, it's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So it's very important. Try and start educating people on how to buy CBD as opposed to how CBD will help them. And educate people on receptors and different types of cannabinoids because it will give us longevity. And I promise you, if you teach that woman or you teach that man what to do, they'll be your customer forever. They will love you and they will always buy your products and they will trust you, but you have to teach them. Now, 4 minutes left, last thing. No one has the best CBD product. It does not exist, okay? If you think you have the best CBD product, you are mistaken. It doesn't exist. You have good CBD products and bad CBD products. A good CBD product is mathematically accurate, it's bioavailable, and it's infused correctly. If you have that, your product is the best product on the market. All right, there's no competition. There's none of this, I'm better than him and he's better than me. You're exactly the fucking same. You're brothers in arms fighting the same fight, and it's time to start working together and stop fighting against each other. I had someone come up to me today and say, I heard your products are shit. Are you fucking serious? I'm the dopest infuser in this building, okay? However, I get it. They turn around to me and they believe what they are told. I have been complimenting everyone today. Literally, I've been running around this room saying you are amazing to everyone. Why? Because you are all amazing. And without you, I wouldn't be here. And without me, you wouldn't be here. And we all need to stick together because if we fuck each other, there is no longevity. And it's so important. It's so important. I'm going to stop swearing. I thought that at 6 o'clock I'll be okay. I am so sorry. I did actually bring this up at the beginning of the meeting. You can beat me out. I'm so sorry. I have Tourette's, okay? I get super excited and I went off piste. I am so sorry. Please, if I've offended anyone, please forgive me. We could do so much together. I mean, so much together. Like, there are so many fingers in pies around this room that I have got my hand in personally. And there are other pies around the world that I have my hand in personally. And anyone who does business with me has their hands in all of those pies. And anyone who knows me knows full well that all I want to do is work with people and help them. All right, I've got a temper. I do swear, okay? But at the end of the day, we all have our flaws and we all have our benefits. And together we can build an industry which is actually sensational. And we really can. That's not me just saying words. We really can. If you look around this room, some amazing stuff here, guys. And, be super proud of yourselves, but then don't hate on other people. Do you know what I mean? It's got to find this middle ground where we build together because we are the UK CBD, market. That's what we are. That's there's no, I'm a CBD dealer, you're a CBD dealer. We are CBD dealers, which means if I start drowning, you're coming down with me. And if you start flying, I only get to benefit. If CBD gets into Harrods, I'm winning too. Do you know what I mean? If my grandma's old age home starts getting CBD, whether it comes from me or not, I've won. The fight I've been fighting for the last 5 years, I'm winning. The poor Oliver Mammon, that 7-year-old kid who couldn't stop twitching, who didn't want to go to school, that kid with Tourette syndrome, has won. He gets his ability to be happy. He gets his ability to play with other kids. And it's important. It's important because we're all there. We're all making this world a better place. And I want to thank you guys just for making this world a better place. It's amazing. And just try and be good with each other. If you have the chance to work together. It will do better things for us. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we can all agree that was a fantastic presentation there from Oliver.
Swearing, man.
Hey, don't you worry about the swearing, Oliver. It was a fantastic presentation. It was like a clarion call, which was a word I've learned recently. This call to arms, so to speak. In fact, I think that you've summed up at the end of the day today, which I was hoping to sum up myself. You've done that single-handedly.
I
so
rock.
Thank you very much for that. You rock. You do rock.
No, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Has anybody got any questions for Oliver before he goes? I knew you would, sir.
Come on stage. Come on stage.
I'm almost sorry to ruin the good mood here, but actually, I mean, the real question is, so it's all about cannabis and CBD, right? But if you were to endorse another plant instead of cannabis, and if we were to take the same approach to that plant, what would that plant be? What is a good equivalent plant to cannabis?
Turmeric.
Turmeric, thank you.
Turmeric's my boy.
Great. So if this is turmeric, right, some of the behaviours you've exhibited today and some of the passion, nobody gets that excited about turmeric?
Oh, I do. Come try my multivitamin tincture. Basically, I've just created a honey. I don't know if you guys saw this news article recently. They've recently discovered that if you mix a high concentration of full spectrum honey and you mix it with a local source of, if you mix a full spectrum turmeric with a local honey, it gives the same effect as antibiotics. Have you read this? It's insane. It's insane. So I've made a turmeric infused CBD honey. Imagine how much better that's going to be than just turmeric and CBD on its own. Look, there are so many compounds out there. There are so many wonderful plants out there. I don't rep them. I rep CBD. Those plants never helped me. CBD helped me, like, not in a rude way. Turmeric is great, and I love it. But if I had to choose between turmeric dying and becoming extinct or CBD, yeah, I would always pick turmeric to die and become extinct. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not that I want turmeric to die or become extinct, but you know what I mean? It's that's gonna get so twisted online. Oh my god, that's the end. Okay. No, it's basically like, I am a CBD infusionologist. I have spent a majority of my life, you know, working with CBD for a personal reason, and I've spent the last 5 years working with CBD in this way. Don't really know what I do, but it's kind of what I do. And basically, I love it. I really do love it. But I really do believe that this is just the tip of the iceberg. And I feel like CBD is what we've really needed to pull us into this almost green revolution, where the front cover of Reader's Digest at the moment is about legalization of cannabis, which is insanity. How cool is that? Like the book my grandma used to live on, now all about weed. It's fucking insane. And they've even written High Times on the front. It's mental. It's like mental. Like, we're in this world right now where just everything's possibility, everything's potential, everything could become the next bigger thing. But we have to think about the longevity in order for that to happen. If not, big pharma will come, or big government will come, or someone else bigger than any of us will come and just make it not so fun. And I just kind of, I'm Ollie. I'm Oliver Mammon. Like, I want to be mates with all of you. I want to help all of you. I want you guys all to be my back. You know, we can have a real army here. You can have a real great unit of people, and we can make some change. You know what I mean? If we all carry on doing what we're doing, we do it to the best of our abilities, we do it properly, we can make some change. So yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a fantastic way to end our first day at the Hemp and CBD show. Oliver Mammon, thank you very
much. Thank you, guys.